Hi everybody, how you doing? My name is Keyon Corniffe. I just want to take the time to welcome you to Financial Freedom. And today what I want to do is take the time to explain with you how you could build a proper financial foundation if you too learn the secrets. Once again, if you ever have any information after this, you can always contact me at 973-873-5977 or send me an email at BShynazLegacyMovement@gmail.com. And also, if you ever want to come down to one of our workshops, you can also come in at our East Orange Financial Center or find out how you could get online access like this. But before I get started, I want to share a little bit about who I am. I'm 30 years old, and before I used to do this, I used to work 3 jobs. I actually used to work from 3:45 in the morning to 11:30 at night. And I did that for about 5 years until I actually got introduced to this opportunity. One of the best things that ever happened to me, I was working these 3 jobs. I used to work at UPS, AMP, and I used to be a cook. And I was doing all of this, and I still didn't understand how money works. As a matter of fact, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Now, what motivated me to get started here is the fact that I wanted to learn how I could secure my kids' future, so that way they would never have to struggle again. And I wanted to be in a position to where I could retire my mom. Because of this campaign, I'm telling you that I've learned a lot. And I've actually put myself in a position to where I could do both of these things. One of the best things today I want you to do is that I want you to pay very close attention. Not only pay attention, I also want you to take good notes, because what I'm going to share with you today is pretty much very simple. I'm going to share with you today how you can save your future. And it's by understanding the basic principles of how to build a financial foundation. See, you're going to learn. And you can learn that you can actually save your future by learning the secrets of the wealthy. So one of the things I'm going to tell you is just a little bit about who we are as a company. Our parent company is called Aegon, AEGON. Aegon's been around since 1844. They're actually listed as one of them companies that's too big to fail. See, Aegon wanted to make a presence in North America, so they bought a company called Transamerica, which serves as our financial department today. Aegon also bought another company called World Financial Group, which is a marketing and distribution company. And through World Financial Group, we actually have access, and we are actually affiliated with over 70 different financial companies. The division that I'm a part of is called the World System Builders, which is a financial educational department. Right now we're in a national campaign, and our national campaign, we want to educate 1 million families by the year 2020. That's why today I'm going to share with you how we're doing this. Because there's 3 major concerns families are facing on a day-to-day basis. The biggest one that they're facing, number one, they have a retirement crisis. Due to the fact that a lot of people didn't plan properly how to retire, a lot of people can't stay retired. And then on top of this, we also have what's called the educational crisis. Let's look at college tuition. They keep rising. Student loans is becoming a major burden. And then we have a spending crisis. Our national budget, company right now, our national debt, right, it surpassed $22 trillion. And this keeps growing every day. That means each citizen holds a debt of over $50,000. So this is the reason why our mission and our campaign is to educate you, and our goal is to get to 1 million families by the year 2020. And we hope that this video can help you to become one of those millions. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the time to share with you some concepts that I can really feel that can really help you with this. So that way you too can learn the fundamentals of how to build a financial foundation and learn the secrets of what we have learned over the years. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is the simple fact that, one, why we're doing this. According to a recent survey, North Americans are facing serious financial challenges, not just here in Canada, but also in North America. They said that the U.S., the picture is even gloomier. They said that 33% or more than 77 million Americans don't pay their bills on time. They talk about the fact that 39% carry credit card debt from month to month, and only 59% of adults say they have savings. They said worse, more than half now think it's acceptable to default their mortgage if they can't afford to pay it. What we must do. This is the reason why we're on this campaign. These are the reasons why we're part of a financial literacy campaign. We want to educate families so that way they don't have to go through this. And the way we're doing it is through our Blue Book. Not only through our Blue Book, but we also give people access to our workshops. And our workshop gives you more in detail of what you're going to learn. But today I'm going to use the Blue Book and share with you how we're educating families with this Blue Book. We already have over 1 million copies printed, and they should distribute that out with this Blue Book already. Let's show you what I mean. The first thing we're going to talk about, and this is on page 6. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to create a financial foundation. They say it's like building a house, and you should actually start with a solid financial foundation and build it from the ground up. But what do most people do? They don't understand what I mean. So let me show you. The first thing you got to do is understand that you should have proper protection in the event of disability, health problems, or premature death. You should also reduce your liability and get out of debt soon too. And you should actually set aside 3 to 6 months of your income to deal with some changes in your job or business or to pay unforeseen accidents or repairs. You should actually save and invest for the long run, because you got to take care of all these tasks as soon as possible. That's why when you look at your finances, you got to create a foundation. You got to put protection in first place. Then you got to start managing your debt. Then you got to put some of that money. If you manage your debt, you'd have extra income to put towards emergency funds. By doing this, it gives you a wiggle room to start investing and invest for the long run. It's important for you to build a financial foundation. But you cannot build a financial foundation until why? You must understand how money works first. See, our understanding of money and wealth is that we go to work, we get paid, and we save whatever we spend after we spend it. That's the truth. That's the reality. But what if I told you there's a wealth formula? And wealthy people have learned about this, and this is available on page 7. Let me tell you what I mean. You see, your money, you got to give your money time. This is the formula to building wealth. Your money requires time, and it also requires the right kind of rate of return on it. And if you're going to borrow any money, you want to have a low rate of return against that money if you're borrowing. Because you then got to take in consideration that inflation is going to minus from your wealth, taxes is going to minus from your wealth, and whatever is left after inflation and taxes took their part of your money, that's what's called wealth. Let me get into it some more. You got to think about where is the money? Everybody always asks this question. You ever feel like you get paid on a Friday and you're like, man, where's the money? It seems like it's gone. So a good number of people always seem to have money problems. See, most of the time, they're short on funds, and Warren Buffett advises you to do this. Don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after you save. That's the reason why today I'm going to break down this wealth formula today. I'm going to talk to you about the rate of return. We're going to talk about inflation, and we're going to also talk about the 3 ways your money gets taxed when you need it. Let's get into it today. Now let's turn to page 8. On page 8, it tells you to pay yourself first. And you must understand that you need to set aside 5 to 10% of your income to save for the future. If possible, save 15% or more. So you got to treat this like a bill that you must pay, and you must pay first. That's your family's financial bill. Doesn't it make sense to pay families first before you're paying other people's bills? See, your cable TV is not more important than your family's financial well-being, is it? That's why we have to understand that we got to make some small changes if we want to have big money. Because spending is a habit, and so is saving. What if you could make small changes to your spending habits and start saving $10 a day? That's actually $300 a month. Do you know what $300 a month would do for your financial future? Let me show you. If you were able to save $300 a month at an 8% interest, this is the rate of return we talked about. If you was able to get an 8% rate of return in 30 years, imagine you started this 30 years ago. Today, you'd have $447,107 estimate. And what if you was able to put away $20 a day? Right? $20 a day, $600 a month at the same 8% rate of return, the interest. In 30 years today, if you did this 30 years ago and today, you would have $894,214 estimate. See, one of the things that you must understand is this. They say that in order for someone to retire comfortably, they need to have at least $1 million or more for retirement. Because you got to consider inflation, cost of living, and you also got to take into consideration taxes. We don't know if it will go up or go down. So if you look at this number, 894, this is the number that you want to aim for or better. But most of the time, you're probably wondering, where can I do this? Well, could you save $10 a day? If you could do that, then we're going to teach you about the next thing. This is on page 11. It's called the rate of return, the magic of compound interest. The way it works is that you take 72, you divide it by the return, rate of return that you get your money, which is the interest. The number of years it takes for your money to double is the equal, right? So let me break it down for you. Let's just say that you take 72. You're going to take whatever interest you get on your money, which is the rate of return, and that will equal the amount of years it takes for your money to double. Now imagine you were able to find a place where you could put your money and you was able to get 4% and 8%. 72 divided by 4 equals 18. That means your money will double every 18 years. So imagine at 29 years old, you was able to put away $10,000 one time. Did you realize every 18 years, at 47, 20,000, at 65, 40,000. Now imagine, would that be enough for you at 65? What if you was able to get to 8%? Money doubling every 9 years. From 29 to 65, it grew to 160. But here's the biggest problem. Today, many people do not know where they can find 12% or better. You see, if you did 72 divided by 12, that equals 6%, 6 years. And that will determine the amount of years it will take your money to double. See, at 29 years old, you put away that 10,000 one time. And by the time 65, it gone up to 640,000. See, one of the things that we must learn the difference between 10,000 at 4% versus the 12%. And if you look in this example, it's actually $600,000. $600,000 is equal to a 20-year salary of someone who earns $30,000 annually. So when you really think about it, it's not so much what you earn or even so much what you keep. But realistically, it's the type of interest that you get on your money. And one of the things that we do is that because we have access to over 70 different companies, we have access to companies that give you the earning potential of anywhere from 10 to even 25%. So that's the biggest thing. We need to have access to where we can earn more interest upon our money. Because then it leads me to my next topic. Let's turn to page 14, where we're going to talk about inflation, the silent killer. Inflation is the rise in prices and goods and services over time. Let me break it down a little bit more. You see, inflation is a major factor to consider when you're building up your financial future. For instance, if you put money in an account with a 0 rate of return, its value will certainly decline in the long run. Did you know that in the last 100 years, from 1914 to 2014, the U.S. inflation rate averaged around 3.32%? So when you take a look, let's take a look at the price of some of the basic items. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is when it comes to retirement. Say you plan to retire with $4,000 income on a month in today's value. Did you know 20 years later, at a 3% inflation rate, you would need to have $7,224? Imagine that. So my question to you is, are you getting the right type of interest on your money to keep up with inflation? And then it leads me to my next topic. Let's talk about taxes on page 15. Now on taxes, Benjamin Franklin said there's nothing certain in this world except for death and taxes. What a sense of humor. Think about the fact that you're going to make money and they're going to tax you. You're going to spend money, they still tax you. And you save your money and they tax you. Did you know even when you die, they still tax you? So what we have to learn is the fundamentals of what are the 3 ways our money being taxed when we need it. Let's turn to page 17. On page 17, it talks about 3 ways your money gets taxed when you need it. But let me say this first. Where does your money go? That's why we're going to take a look at the following tax treatment on different types of investment accounts that is in the U.S. Where do you put your money? Because if you understood taxes, you know where to put your own money. You wouldn't need anybody to tell you what to do. You just got to understand what are the 3 ways my money being taxed when I need it. So let's talk about the first one, tax now. Tax now is in your checking, savings, CD, stocks, and mutual funds. It's also known as taxable. And tax now means that any earnings from these accounts will pay tax for that year. For example, you must report and pay tax on your earnings from your savings account, your certificates of deposit, which are known as CDs, dividends from your stocks, your mutual funds, and money market funds. And these vehicles must report and pay taxes at the end of the year. Imagine the fact that you put away $1 million in your bank account. Did you also know that the bank could only cover and insure $250,000 of that because of the FDIC? So you got to think about it. If you had $1 million, where would you put it? Would you put it in a tax now? Or better yet, let's talk about tax later. Tax later. Tax later is in your 401k, 403bs, IRAs, Seth IRAs, and annuities and pensions. Now, what does it mean? Now, tax later means that you put money in, right? Money you put in is pre-tax. And pre-tax money deposit account is money that you have not yet paid income tax on. But you'll definitely be paying taxes later when you withdraw it. Did you know that these accounts are also called tax deferred? And in the U.S., tax deferred commonly takes the form of all the above that you're looking at. You see, one of the things that you got to take a look at and realize is that in the U.S., when you begin to take your money out after 59, after 59 and a half, they're going to tax you at ordinary income tax rate. But if you take your money out before 59 and a half, you'll get a 10% penalty with a few exceptions in addition to taxes. Also, you can't keep money there forever. You must start withdrawing it when you reach 70 and a half, or you're going to pay a penalty of 50%. It's because you failed to take out the required minimum distribution. Now, you want to know a little bit more about this? I would love for you to go research and look into who created the 401k. His name is Ted Benner. And then I also want you to look into who created the tax code, what president signed off on that bill. And after that, you'll realize what you're really into. Is it really for retirement? Because if you want to know more, ask me about this book and go to page 68. Go to page 68 to 69, and it will explain to you more what are the two different when it comes down to retirement. Now, let's talk about the third way you want to get taxed, which is through tax advantages. It's in your Roth IRA, 529 college savings plan, municipal bonds, health savings account, and life insurance and long-term care. Now, what does it mean? What does tax advantage mean? Well, let me break it down for you. Tax advantage means that you generally won't pay tax when you withdraw the money from your account. Tax advantage investment money is after tax money because you've already paid taxes on it. Now, it also says that all of the above here and life insurance are popular investment vehicles that get tax-exempt distribution. So now we just broke down where can you put your money to not get taxed. We talked about inflation that will hurt you. And then we also talk about the simple fact that, one, we got to learn how to get better interest on our money. So if you understood those, you didn't have to take the time to understand what are tax advantages. So what we do is that, let me show you how we help people. And one of the things that we do to help people is that we take the time to break it down. Let me show you what I mean. You got to understand what is the X-curve concept and what building wealth with responsibility really means. See, the X-curve concept is a simple way to show the relationship between taking care of your personal responsibility and building your wealth. This concept theorized that in general, a person's responsibility decrease and their wealth should increase over time. Let me give you some more intel. Now, this is what's called the X-curve concept. It shows the law of decreasing responsibility and the law of building wealth. But what we must understand is that the X-curve concept involves two curves that run on opposite directions during your lifetime. See, when you're younger, you're taking care of your family. And we know that's very important to you because that's why we're parents. But at this very moment, we have a lot of responsibility and little money to show. And it makes us a little bit less secure. Most of the time, we're living paycheck to paycheck. But if we follow, like we said on page 8, where we got to pay ourselves first and put away 5 to 10%, 15% or more, you got to treat it like a bill. That's something that you must pay. That's your family's financial well-being. So by doing this, you started saving when you were taking care of your family. And as you transition to where you get older and you're taking care of your future, you're preparing for your retirement, your wealth will grow. The wealth will grow and the responsibility will decrease. Kids will be growing up, the house should be paid off, cars, student loans, all these things. This is where you become generally more secure. So our goal is to move everybody that we educate and teach them about how to properly put together a financial foundation, is to move them from where they're generally less secure and make them more secure. So the way we do that is by simply taking down a few information. One, we just want to gather some we'll do what's called a personal financial strategy. So if you would love to complete one of our personal financial strategies and find out how we can help you, please give me a call, 973-873-5977. Or definitely reach out to the person that gave you this link. They mean you well, and our goal is to educate you. After we gather this information from you, we then show you how to budget and save. And we also give you a game plan and show you how to make sure that you're debt-free and make sure that you can have a proper retirement. So thank you for definitely tuning in. I hope this was very informative. My name is Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance. And always remember, you're one decision away from changing your future for the better. But I also want you to remember, the choice is always yours. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye-bye.